Taurus. I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general reading for the 8th through the 22nd. I know it's a weird time frame, but I do want to leave that end of the month energy all by itself. So I'm going to talk about the astrology just for a little bit. You can jump forward. I have the timestamps below in the description box. I'm going to be doing separate readings for career, money, and then separate for relationship. I'm going to do two, one for those of you who are in relationship and one for those of you who are in separation. But let's talk about the astrology. I really like this time period for you to decongest and start to roll forward ideas having to do with work, right? Because you have Mercury retrograde is in your sixth house. So Mercury is going to finally be coming out of retrograde. And the way that it is, it's an alignment, first of all, with your house of home, having to do with money, having to do with your career. So I like it's positively aspected, but you can experience a great impulse to get super organized right now for some of you, because that sixth house energy is like very organized, or to get in shape, to really work on your health. So it depends on how it's going to end up manifesting for you. But you want to watch out for feeling really impatient in this energy and your ego getting in the way of anything, having to do with anything that maybe you want to roll out regarding work or even having to do with your health. Instead, really encourage your initiative by being brave, by being fearless, having to do with putting yourself out there. And what is ego anyway? Ego is just fear in a dress, right? So, don't be so afraid of putting yourself out there. You're going to be very well received, right? So if you're thinking about launching something or taking some sort of risk, driving yourself in a particular, down a particular path, I think it's really nicely aspected for you, generally speaking, for the archetype of Taurus right now. Again, I don't know you or your personal chart, but for the archetype of Taurus. So it may be that you need to wait for an answer or some sort of information coming in that you might be waiting for before you actually start something fresh. Before you're able to actually take that thing to the next level. But because Mercury is retrograde, wait for the answer to come in, wait for whatever it is to come in, and you're going to have a more clear idea of where it is that you're going. And it's going to help you organize and structure your life, right? And on top of that, we have Saturn finally going direct. Now, keep in mind, when these energies go direct, the couple of days before, a couple of days after that day, that's going to be on the 10th, but a couple of days before and after, is a very heightened sense, right, of whatever is Saturnian. So Saturnian is Saturn energy is a lot about responsibility and restriction. So don't be surprised if you're feeling that, right, as it goes direct, right? But this influence generally can help you clarify your business, your career, your life path, your goals, your projects, where it is that you're going in that way. There might need to be a reality check, right? For some of you, depends on what's going on in your life, but you'll also be determined to figure out what is doable for you. So even if something doesn't work out, if it doesn't work out, it just really was not meant for you to work out, especially as Saturn goes direct. You really want to think about, look for the lesson in whatever hasn't worked out and really apply yourself for whatever is being presented in this energy. So all month, really, I just kind of feel like you have an eye for detail, when it comes to what it is that you want. I'm just looking at your chart here. You have a very strong eye for detail, having to do with anything 10th house related, right? Career, public reputation, your standing in the world, and your long-term goals, right? I mean, that really is the 10th house as well. Like, where do you see yourself going over the long term? And conversations or list making, right? List making is very sixth house as well, because the sixth house where Mercury is retrograde, and you also have the sun and you have Mars. Lots of energy in that sixth house of mental, physical, emotional health, organizing, being of service, the day-to-day work environment. So I really think that there's a lot of energy in there for you. So, and you're going to feel frustrated though in that energy as well, right? As Mercury goes direct, there can be, and as Pluto goes direct, there's going to be this energy where it's like, all right, what's going on, where how am I able to sort of move my life forward, and here, especially because you have Pluto in that ninth house, and ninth house has to do with negotiating, higher education. It has to do with your belief system. It has to do with launching, advertising, marketing. So as Pluto comes direct, don't be surprised if like there's a heightened energy around as you're formulating something or as you're rolling something out, or maybe even as some of you are changing the way in which you do something. This is kind of how I see it happening for you. But your career, your reputation, all those 10th house matters, all of that stuff is going to be picking up a lot of steam, even if it's slow and a little not as quick as you would like it to. Because remember, Mars has this be like, well, everybody's like, I want to be there yesterday. I want it to be done yesterday. So we're like slow and steady definitely wins the race here. Your hard work may not pay off just yet, but you're gonna enjoy substantial progression forward. So just pay attention to that, right? And don't minimize, the steps forward that you're able to make right now. And even we have Jupiter turning direct here, which I think is even going to be a bigger thing for you, right? It's on the 18th, and you're going to enjoy a lot of, I think, optimism. Your career, your general life direction, where you see yourself going, is going to feel the fog is going to start to lift, right? Your professional, and your professional reputation, your reputation in general, right? Your reputation in general is going to gain a lot of clarity, right? Meaning you're going to have a better idea of where you're going, how you define yourself in the eyes of society. And society is going to be recognizing that, which I actually think is really nice, particularly as that Mercury comes out of retrograde. Lots of significance here concerning learning, looking at the past, looking for lessons from the past. You tried certain things out, they didn't work, then you go and you make those adjustments, right? And then at that 18th, you're going to feel ready to apply yourself after that day, right? When Mercury goes retrograde. But remember, Mercury's not out of shadow until the beginning of the month, until beginning of November. So to keep that in mind, it's not like the 18th comes, we're like, woo, the 18th is probably going to be actually pretty stressful. 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm not going to say stressful in a bad way, but I'm talking about heightened energy, where there's some sort of something that you're going to have to be dealing with, right? Regarding probably some sort of either a work situation or health situation that is going to end up rolling out in your favor, right? Mercury's going to, at least you'll have a lot more clarity in regards to that. Your energy and your motivation is really going to start popping big time by the end of the month. Just that energy of feeling held back is finally going to be released for all of us, right? But for you guys, I feel like it's going to be most specifically for the archetype of Taurus, right? In very heavy in that sixth house energy. Okay. Which I like. So you might seek and find more meaning in the work that you do or your daily routines. Your energy and motivation, again, is going to be taken to a new level, but at least you're going to feel like the shackles are taken off, and you're going to be feeling really pumped about pursuing something. So either something having to do with work, or some of you might be really pumped to start some sort of workout routine, or get in front of some sort of health issue that you've been dealing with, or just feel energized about creating new for you, for yourself in that area, or just creating like new, like daily habits, right? Can certainly be happening, especially with this Mercury retrograde sextiling your fourth house of home. Just what you do in your day to day is just going to be a lot lighter at the end of the month, which I really like. And solving a work or mechanical issue can be a really great relief for you if you've been dealing with any sort of like tech issue, car issue, anything like that. The chance to straighten out a misconception can emerge, and others seem to recognize your efforts, your talents, your gifts, your ability, especially your leadership ability because of this Mars energy. This could also be a great time when either, again, a work project that you're working on is you're going to figure out a way of handling in a different way. You're going to be recognized in a different way. You feel very inspired by it. And then finally, that full moon on the 20th, this is going to really wake up your feelings that you've been keeping at bay, helping you to pursue what it is that you really want more wholly, more specifically. Say wholly so is not the right phrase that I want to say. I want to say less fear, You're going to have less fear to go after what it is that you want. Your intuition is telling you something right now, Taurus, and you really need to listen to it. The need for balance between your physical and emotional health becomes very obvious. If you're feeling very exhausted from putting too many hours in whatever it is that you're doing, or you have to look at, is your sleeping disrupted by what's going on in your day to day? Really kind of looking at that balance, right? Between your work, between your health, looking at that. It's really time to take care of the needs that go beyond the physical and the practical. Really pay attention, very strong attention to your mental health right now, and look at the relationship between that and your body. Because after this, you're going to be able to bring it like a very renewed a sense of self back to yourself, to your self-care, to your work. I feel like a lot of Taurians are going to be feeling, you're going to realize that you haven't been feeling like yourself. And you're not going to realize it until you start feeling more like yourself again. I hope that makes sense, but it's entirely positive. It's entirely positive. So I really like those energies for you. So why don't we get into the cards, and I'm going to first pull for a career or money. Timestamp them below for those of you who just want to pop forward to any idea having to do with the relationship. Okay. So let's see what we have. Let's start out with a Celtic cross spread for our Taurus friends. High Priestess is you right now. You're being challenged by the idea of growth, though. Okay. Yeah. Welcome to Mercury retrograde. Little retrograde. Mercury's retrograde. Yeah, but that Jupiter retrograde, that Jupiter retrograde finally going direct, finally you're going to feel those shackles of expansion, because Jupiter is all about expansion and growth, right? You're going to finally feel that lift. So right now, yeah, the High Priestess energy, for sure. This is you just being in this space of being very patient. Success is coming. You're really trying to tap into that bull sensibility that you have of, okay, I'm going to be patient, right? Because you're recognizing that something needs time to either mature or be nurtured or something like that. And this is you recognizing that, right? And this is the justice and the judgment energy as well in numerology. So you're going to be very focused on what you've done, again, up to this point. Fair, what's been fair, what hasn't been fair. Fair is such a kind of a cheesy word, but what has worked out and what hasn't worked out, and really looking at the lesson in all of that, not to lament or to whine, but to learn. And I do feel like you're in this space of learning, and you're in this space of patience, and your challenge is right now feeling like you're growing at the rate that you would really like to grow, right? But a lot of you may be in this space where, because the Empress energy is also a very inventive energy. It's very creative, right? Because it's straight up Venus, and Venus, yes, rules money, rules self-esteem, rules love, but it also rules this idea of invention and of being able to kind of create something out of nothing that's going to end up moving something forward in a way towards growth and towards problem solving. So you might be in this space where it's like you're figuring things out. But it's frustrating for you. It could be frustrating for you because it's you have to do something different, but you might be having a really hard time focusing in on exactly what it is. And it may not necessarily be that you want to change career or you want to change something altogether, but it's that there needs to be a different strategy regarding something, but maybe the way in which you go about doing it may be a little challenging for you right now, something like that. But with that Pluto going direct in your ninth house of higher education and learning, I feel like you're going to be open to looking and strategizing regarding some sort of money career situation going on in a different way that's going to end up being good for you. So yeah, you're definitely being asked to try something different. Look at this. We have the Fool as the basis of the situation. So the Fool is really about a new path, a new opportunity, or a new approach in your current position. This could even be a new career or enterprise for some of you altogether, where you're meeting all new people and you're just jumping into something very different. But you do want to make sure that you prioritize your responsibilities here as you move ahead, just so things go slowly. But because this is the Fool, and the Fool in astrology is a Uranus energy. Uranus rules technology, so there might be some sort of maybe working technology into the career that you're doing, or changing the way in which you handle technology, having to do with your job, or something to do with technology is what I'm seeing here. So that's the basis of the situation that's dealing with the King of Swords. I love this combination for you to have as the basis in the current position, because the King of Swords is about keep your emotions out of it. I mean, you want to do what your heart feels and all of that, but this is about you focusing on your mind instead of your heart in order to take charge of the circumstances at play here. So being very outwardly calm, using a lot of sound logic. So really good energy, particularly if you have to deal with other people who might be less patient, who might be, drama kings, drama queens, people who are just not very agreeable regarding a situation. For those of you who have to deal with other people, there is this, like, I really like this. There's like this calm wisdom that I'm getting from you regarding some sort of career or money situation, which I like. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles is the energy of advice. So the Nine of Pentacles is really nice for when we're talking about career or money, because first of all, it has to do with comfort, right? It's a Venus and Virgo energy, and it has to do with accomplishment and success in things that you're doing. Like, this is a very independent endeavor kind of thing. So if you're trying to start your own business, if you're launching something, if you already have your own thing going on, trying it in a different way and it being well received, I like that you're working on something having to do with how you show up, and it's going to be well received, because this is about putting in the work and then receiving some sort of healthy result following it. So some of you may even be meeting a new business partner. Some of you may be opening yourself up to a whole new career, realizing that what you have been in wasn't healthy for you overall, and you going into something in a different way. But I really like it. It's because it's really the advice here is to look at what you bring to a situation and really have value, put the value in that's meant to be recognized there. Now, the energy external to you, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this tells me that, and again, external to you, this is not you. This is somebody bringing some sort of good news in. But you have to make sure that you prioritize whatever's going to be asked of you, but somebody's bringing news in. Now, I feel like this could be a response having to do with a job that you put in for in the past. This could have to do with maybe reconnecting with somebody from the past to move forward. This could have to do with even an idea, just all of a sudden just coming to you, having to do with maybe revisiting something that you started in the past, that book idea, that project, that business that you thought about. Because remember, the wheel it's cyclical, right? We're dealing with cycles here. Right. And it's the Magician and the Sun. So I like Magician is a Mercury energy. Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. So I love this, especially as Mercury is going to be going direct, because where you've been feeling held back in communication and the ability to formulate things and the ability to feel like you have all the tools in your toolbox, all of that is going to end up being lifted right now by some sort of news that's coming in. You're going to be seeing something very differently. Now, in your internal psychology is the challenge. We have the Hangman. The Hangman is Neptune. Neptune is a very sacrificial smoke and mirrors energy. And it's like, I don't know if I do this, what if it doesn't work out? And what if I end up having to sacrifice what I really want, need, and desire? And what if? Now just stop it. Taurus, because the energy is really nicely aspected for you to roll out whatever it is that you want. But I feel like you're feeling like this, reflective of things having not gone exactly how you really wanted them to be up to this point. And as the human part of the human condition, we do this silly thing where we sort of, I'm not going to say, well, sometimes depends on the situation. Sometimes we'll minimize how much we really want something, or we'll feel like, oh, it's not going to happen anyway, or I'm going to end up having to give up what I really want. It's not going to go well. And, you know, putting all of these negative narratives on things based on the past, where it's really not speaking to truth, having to do with the present. So something to just keep in mind, because in the near future, we got the six of Pentacles, which is very nice. I mean, this has to do with some Moon and Taurus energy. So very good if your finances or career have anything to do with property, have anything to do with any sort of circumstance regarding family or inheritance. The idea of generosity or support being circulated in this energy. If you've been struggling financially, things are going to get better. This is money coming to you. This could be someone from your past offering you support right now, or maybe even you offering it to them. Maybe it could be some of you offering it to somebody else, but it's this energy of reciprocity, entirely healthy. So good. But it's, you know, we love anything in Taurus, right? We're talking about money, right? We love anything in you, right? So the Moon in Taurus is, you know, Moon is emotions, right? Moon rules the fourth house of homes. So, you know, very direct application could be you getting money from a home, or maybe money having to do with an inheritance, where, you know, maybe a parental home was sold or something like that, there. And then the final outcome, we have the Knight of Cups energy. So we love the Knight of Cups because this is a positive proposal coming in. So very emotional time, you know, very good news energy, very emotional though. So this could have to do with money coming in, some sort of family situation going in a particular way that ends up in your favor. If it has anything to do with finances, this could have to do with that project getting accepted, financing coming in, anything, you know, some sort of proposal coming in that's going to be working in your favor. So really nice there. Oh, check it out. We have the Eight of Cups. I feel like I know what this is. The Eight of Cups is having the emotional intelligence to recognize what isn't feeling right to you anymore and being able to walk away from it. But it's like a healthy sort of sadness, but no regret. There's not a lot of lamenting here. So I feel like some sort of offer is going to be coming in, and you're going to be changing up what you're doing now, but you're not going to have too much sadness in your heart about it. You're really not. And you're going to be approaching it from a very King of Swords energy. Now, this deck has two King of Swords, two of the core cards, male and female. So I don't want you to get confused there. But I like this a lot, because again, focusing on your mind instead of your heart. It's like when this is working with the Eight of Cups, it's like keeping it real. This wasn't working. It's time to go. It's time for my Ace of Cups, my friends. Yes, yes, yes. That's it. Beautiful. This is awesome. This is something that matters to you finally coming to fruition. So fill in the blank with whatever that means. You know, launching that thing, that business thing coming in, where you saw your business going, whatever it is, it's you're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel at the very, very least. So very nice energy there for career or money. I do like it. Very nice, my Taurus friends. Okay, so now we're going to go on to those of you who are in a relationship. And we're going to first start with those of you who are in a relationship and you're in the relationship. You're not in separation right now. I'm going to pull separate cards for those of you in separation. I know I get a lot of requests. Can't you just do single? Can't you just do married? Can't you just? And I would really, really love, honestly, Taurus, I would love to just hang out and pull cards all day. I really would. I want you to know that. But I have to go right now according to the collective. So, and that seems to be people in a relationship or people in separation. I'm going to be doing a specialty relationship read, hopefully by next week, where I include all the different types of different relationships, right? Okay. And then a lot of people really don't even give a hoot about relationship. And there's that. Okay, what are we worried about money or family situation? Okay, so let's see what we have going on here. Okay, so Right now, you're in a Three of Cups energy. Beautiful. I mean, Three of Cups is very, again, very abundant, very supportive. This is a space of of healing, right? This is emotional healing. This could be physical healing as well, maybe going on within. Maybe somebody had some sort of surgery, or somebody's getting past something. This is a very good energy for a brand new relationship, right? Because three is the energy of growth, but it's also great for, and it's creation, right? Growth and creation, but it's also a very good healing energy. So I feel like a lot of you are very much, you personally, Taurus, are in this space within relationship where you want healing. But the challenge here is this Ten of Swords energy. So the Ten of Swords is the end of a really challenging time period. There's a history here, and the finality in the release of something releases you from the pain, from the disappointment, from the stress, from the frustration, whatever it is. And even if it's painful, at least there's a release from that, right? And now you're able to sort of like lighten up and move into a healthier space. But this is very, very much a challenge for you right now, right? It's like you want to have this healing, but this ending is challenging you right now. Now, we have coming into this the energy of the Seven of Wands here, and the Seven of Wands, Mars and Leo energy. And this does indicate that there were obstacles that you guys were going through, right? You have the resiliency to overcome whatever it is, and you knew that, but you were in this space where you were exercising your belief system, your morality, your personal philosophy, how you believe things are supposed to be. And what's a little tricky though is that, I mean, you guys are feeling this absolutely right. I mean, especially you have that, Scorpio is in your seventh now. Scorpio, the Venusian energy moving into Sagittarius is in your eighth house. So there's this very highlighted energy with Venus in your eighth house about cycles, about how you show up as a we in relationship. And that eighth house, when it comes to relationship, when I say it's how you show up as we, it's a house of shared intimacy, shared resources, shared communication, and literally how you guys come together. And Sagittarius, when Venus is in Sagittarius, our belief system is very strong. Our search for the truth is very strong. And our what that means for us, right? This is a very subjective thing, right? What our personal truth is. Definitely feeling very kind of like drawing the line in the sand. I'm willing to do this, I'm not willing to do that. And I feel like, you kind of laid it out and you want to be able to heal things, but there's this end of a challenging time period that you're sort of struggling with here. Now, some of you are having a hard time dealing with the emotions involved in something ending here, and others of you are struggling in trying to transform how to get past and how to reconcile whatever sort of issue was being worked through here. Now, we do have the Ten of Coins, and it's working with the Queen of Coins here. The Ten of Coins is the foundation, the basis rather, of the situation at hand, right? So when we have the Ten of Coins here, this is about, will you marry me? Let's move in together. Let's grow, let's grow, let's grow. I mean, it's just the best way of looking at it. This is indicative of family, of maturity, of deepening of commitment, shared values, shared resources, share, right? So it's that idea, right? Which is the basis of the situation. So I do feel like a lot of you are very much looking at the big picture of things. Like some sort of acute issue might have come up, or you dealt with it in a very acute way where maybe it's been brewing for a little bit and there was some sort of acute argument that, not cute, but acute, right? Meaning like in the short term here, that you guys were addressing. The current situation though here is the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is very, very nice. I mean, this is about you trying to take care of, first of all, taking care of yourself within the relationship, but this is also indicative of marriage. This is a marriage energy. This also indicates money coming to those of you who are coupled, maybe through an inheritance, an insurance payout, or maybe somebody gets an increase in finances. This is very good financial management. Something to do with finances is indicated here for many of you. If it has nothing to do with finances, really kind of reconnecting in as far as creating a sensual sex life within your relationship. This is also an energy of fertility for those of you who are in a space in your life or relationship where you're thinking about having children or anything like that. Now, fertility could also have to do with growing your life in a different way. So maybe buying a home, expanding into a new home, buying a business, anything that would grow your life together is really sort of what's being focused on right now. So I see that there's a lot of energy focused on this idea of sharing, commitment. I like the solid vibe of this, to be honest with you. I really do. Now, what is Spirit telling you? The card of advice from Spirit is the recommended approach is the Ace of Wands. So this has to do with a new chapter. And so inciting a new chapter in this relationship, a new chapter of passion, a new chapter of being creative and problem solving, being more motivated to be in the relationship, and creating situations though where you're excited to be a part of it. Not that you're doing all the work, Taurus, but things that are just focusing on little things. I mean, it could just even be like little things with your partner, but communicating the value of the little things and how that helps to incite passion and motivation to actually want to work on the relationship. So we have the Four of Cups energy as an external, the energy external to you. So you may be dealing with a partner who's feeling a little restless right now, who's, you might be hearing within relationship, why does everything always have to go to hell in a handbasket? Why do we have to argue? But low key, maybe not so low key, blaming you for everything, right? Just feeling very disillusioned, feeling very disappointed, right? Because this is a moon in Cancer energy. I'm feeling very restless. You may be dealing with an energy like that, but this could be somebody who doesn't want to really look at, or at least you're sensing that they don't really want to look at the larger issues. They certainly don't want to look at their role in all of it. They're willing to look at things, but they might be doing more finger pointing than internal reflection to see. And this is not to say that it's all anyone's fault, whatever issue is going on here. But what this does indicate to me is they have a hard time at looking at themselves in this situation. And that really is the very thing that they need to do. Now, your challenge here, your internal psychology, is the wheel reverse. So this is interesting to me, right? Because the wheel reverse, you might, again, internal psychology. So this doesn't have to be reflective of the 3D that you're experiencing, but you may feel like you've been experiencing some really bad luck within the relationship, right? And where you're feeling very, very challenged to sort of stay with bells and whistles on in the relationship. Some of you might be feeling like you're experiencing closure in some way about something, maybe even else in your life that you're keeping private, that is just sort of affecting the way that you show up in the relationship. Some of you may be experiencing a lack of confidence in your own decision-making skills and your own ability to identify what's right or not so great for you. You just may be in that space, right? Internally, like, oh, I don't know, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right choice for me? I don't know, and it's sort of like this internal sort of poking at you, am I going to be able to grow in this? Am I right? Because it's a Jupiter energy. Am I going to be able to grow? But what I like is that in the near future, we have Temperance, very nice energy about cooperation, moderation, reconciliation, reconciling issues at hand that have sort of been hanging out, maybe in the periphery of the relationship that really needs some healthy discussion. And what better time to do it than after Mercury goes retrograde? I feel like this is going to be, it's very positive, it's sextiling that 8th house. So, if you guys are going to sit down and talk about money or talk about intimacy or talk about communication issues, how everybody's showing up in the relationship, this is a nice energy to do it in for sure, particularly, closer towards the end of the month. But I do like it because this is getting past whatever issues have been going on. And then we have the Page of Cups. And remember, the page always incites a new cycle, and it's a personification of water. So this is a really good, beautiful energy having to do with your relationship. This is just lovely. And you guys being able to sort of incite this new cycle for yourself, this new cycle for the relationship, in a way that really sort of matters to you. Now we have the 8 of Swords in the reverse, and we like this better in the reverse because this is about release and this is about new. Okay. Now, for those of you who are in a situation where, because some of you, I feel like Okay. I feel like I'd be remiss if I didn't address this in some way to some of you. There is this idea of strong foundation that you have your mind on in the relationship. Okay. Then we have this Ace of Wands here, though. Ace typically incites brand new. Now, it could indicate a new cycle within your relationship, but it could also indicate somebody new coming in. For those of you who are experiencing this are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. Well, you may be focused on somebody new because the person that you're dealing with is kind of blaming you for everything. But I feel like this person may be somebody from your past. You feeling like you're not going to be able to grow in the situation that you're in. So some of you may be wanting to break into a new path. Because this Page of Cups being clarified by the Eight of Swords, for some of you, this can indicate escaping from something that really was not meant for you, where you feel a lot more liberated, you feel free. Now, for those of you in relationship, this is liberation from the toxicity and hope after a really challenging time. Four of Pentacles. Okay, Four of Pentacles is feeling very self-protective. You are going to feel very protective right now, focus on security, focusing on bettering your life, though. Four of Pentacles is very much about a self-improvement energy as well. But you and your partner may just simply be saving money because you're realizing you want to buy that house, or you want to, have a baby, or you want to go on vacation, and you're just going to be reassessing your whole area of finances. Things are expedited very quickly here, having to do with the Chariot, away from the toxicity. And then we have the Four of Wands, very nice energy, having to do with homecoming, strong foundation. Really nice energy here. For those of you in relationship, let me just finish reading it like that. The Five of Swords. Okay, hold on. Okay, so let me finish just sort of indicating this for those of you who are in relationships. So again, you're experiencing this hope. Maybe you guys are saving money. You really want to move away from anything that's toxic, right? Because you want a strong foundation here with the Four of Wands. But you might be having an argument, right? About Five of Swords. It's minor arcana, but there might be this lack of squaring between what it is that you want and what the reality is that you're living. And where it ends up inciting this imbalance. You guys may not be on the same page in as far as saving money or where you want to live. There's something where I feel like you guys may not be on the same page, right? And there's a lot of imbalance going on there. One of you might be trying to control the other. There could be this idea of addiction at play, this idea of egotism, narcissistic tendencies, anything like that, like my way, the highway kind of thing. And that could end up really creating a significant feeling of this Five of Pentacles, where there's a real, first of all, fear for your security. I mean, just straight up, this could indicate a testing of resources, financial issues, or fearing losing the security maybe of your home, or just not having enough. This could also indicate the pain in the aftermath of a breakup or something not working out. That's that some of you are going to be experiencing here. So either way, either it's because of money or because of some sort of breakup, and you're going to know how it resonates with you. Now, for those of you, I just feel like I need to say this, for those of you who are making this decision to move away and to sort of release yourself, you're very protective and you're very in the space, again, of feeling very focused on bringing yourself some sort of security, moving away from the toxicity. Some of you may be meeting somebody new, right? The Four of Wands can indicate a new partner opening up and expressing how they feel about you. But then there ends up being this lack of alignment between what it is that you really want and what it is that you're living. And the devil always indicates this need to balance something out. So you're going to realize that, whether you stay in something or whether you go into something else, there is this sort of there's this need to make sure that what you are looking for in relationship, Taurus, that you're able to show up equal to it. And what I mean by that is having to do with money, having to do with communication, having to do with intimacy. Whatever you are expecting, you need to make sure that you're giving it. And if you're not willing to give that, then it seems like you need to make a decision about where it is that you really want to ultimately go, right, in your relationships. It just does seem like that, right? Especially with Scorpio sitting in your seventh house, which is all about endings and beginnings, and the need to reassess and reevaluate in order to transform. So it really is about taking the temperature, whether you're staying in something, whether you're not. There is this, I see this highlight about make sure you're giving what it is that you're looking to receive. Okay. I say that even to myself. I'm a Taurus moon. You know, I just read the cards. It has nothing to do with me, but that's something that needs to be addressed. Okay, so let's pull for those in separation. Separation. So we'll pull 3 cards across, a couple of tarot with qualifiers, and we'll see what else we need to pull for clarification. All righty. For those of you, separation. I kept up a facade to the world, but you always saw past that into my soul. So let's see. Let's pull some cards. Oh, we have the wheel. Somebody wants to get back with you. It does seem like somebody wants another go around here, right? I mean, that really is, this is the wheel is this, right? Coming back around, right? But really needing to figure out, you know, what were the bones like when you guys were together? Was the relationship good? I mean, and a lot of you were like, yeah, it was great. It was just the timing was off, or we were both very immature in how we communicated, or they were going through something. Now, there's so many reasons why a relationship doesn't work out. It doesn't have to be, a forever kind of thing, right? Obviously, if you guys are still tuning in, listening to this, there's some sort of desire there, at least for the person. So the wheel is being clarified by the 2 of Pentacles. So there's this, oh my gosh, trying to decide, should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, right? This energy of negotiation, needing to make a decision regarding more than one path, right? I'm really figuring out, where is the sense of lack in the relationship and how can we address that? But, let's keep in mind the wheel is Jupiter. Jupiter's about expansion, luck and expansion, and really wanting to take that chance. But I do feel like whoever it is that you're dealing with fully recognizes that there's been some sort of, I don't want to say this, like there's some sort of turning point that's been reached. And they know that they have to take a chance if they want to try to save something, but they're in this space of like almost like analysis paralysis. Then we have I love you, but I'm afraid to reach out and have you reject me. First up, to clarify, that is the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, yes, I mean somebody just really wants a new beginning, but this requires negotiation. The Ace of Pentacles is very auspicious. It has to do with happiness and contentment and getting what you want, and all of that. But there's got to be some sort of negotiation here, right? In order to have that foundation of stability in the connection. Or for some of you, you might be dealing with somebody who got a new job, and they're very focused on that. Or maybe they want to tell you about their new job. Ace of Pentacles is being clarified by the 4 of Cups again. Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is the second time this came up. This came up with the Taurus in the committed relationships here. We have this is about restlessness and boredom and apathy and feeling very disillusioned. I don't know. Is it always going to be like that? This is an energy where it's like crisis of faith, right? Because it's a moon in Cancer, right? So that moon rules Cancer. So it's that, feeling that emotional vulnerability. But at the same time, it's almost like the kind of energy where there's a lot of finger pointing because somebody doesn't want to look at their own stuff within relationship, right? So it does seem like somebody wants some forward movement, but they're not very, I'm not going to say emotionally intelligent. They're not very emotionally willing right now, because there is this idea of negotiating and feeling like, oh, but if only they didn't this, or if only they didn't that, meaning you. So there's still like this finger pointing and this feeling like, should I or shouldn't I? And to me, that always means like they're not ready in a healthy way, because then they will come back and wait for you to say, oh, person, I'm so sorry I did this, this, and this. It was all my fault. And you're not going to be in that space to do that, because you're going to be all about fairness, right? I'm haunted by us. I didn't follow my heart, and now I don't know how to let you go. They learned their lesson though here, my friends. Look at that. We have the world, lesson learned. And clarifying that, we have the Page of Swords. This Page of Swords, this indicates to me either them reaching out to you online somehow, email, text message, some sort of communication coming in, you finding out maybe even from somebody else that this person still wants you back, something like that. Let me just pull some oracles for this. It's like somebody really wants to come back, but they're afraid to allow themselves to be completely open and vulnerable. It's going to make them really uncomfortable. Excuse me, chaos and conflict. And then we have breathe. Yeah, that sounds like October right there. Chaos and conflict and breathe. That just about sums it up. Let's pull one more oracle. Face your shadow. This is what's necessary in this relationship, not only for you, but for them as well. Excuse me, the shadow side needs to be really looked at. So if you know your nodal energies, really look at those. Look at your Black Moon Lilith. Look at where your Chiron is located. Chiron right now in Aries retrograde is in the 12th house of the subconscious for you. So you might be doing a lot of healing internally, having to do with things that have happened to you in your past and past relationships. There's a lot of a call to arms to do some healing there in that, under the hood in your subconscious mind right now. So it does look like there's the energies available to reconcile something, but everybody's got to be really, really honest with themselves, and everyone has to be willing to look at their shadow side and drop their ego in the bucket before entering the room to have this conversation regarding reconciliation. Everyone's got to do that. Otherwise, it seems like there's just going to end up being a lot of chaos and conflict, and that cyclical kind of arguing that's really not going to help anybody, right? All right, my friends, that is what I have for you. I hope this was helpful for you in some way. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.